The problems that we are going to discuss now are related to subtraction of like fractions only. But in this case, what we have to do is we have to find the missing fractions. We have to find the missing fractions depending upon what the result that you will get after the subtraction. So if this is 7 divided by 10, and if you have to subtract some fraction that we do not know, so that we get 3 by 10 as the answer. If this is the condition, then you know that we can think it of as some fraction which is having denominator as 10, because we can think it of as a like fraction to this one. So it can, this fraction that is missing here can be a like fraction if its denominator is 10. Okay, we chose the denominator as 10 to make it like fraction. What can be the numerator so that we get 3? Now, of course, if this is 7 and if the missing number that's here has to be subtracted from 7, if some number a has to be subtracted from 7, then if some number has to be subtracted from 7 so that you get 3, of course a will be what? A will be 4, because if I subtract 4 from 7, we'll get 3, and this is what? 4 by 10 will be your fraction. So what will be the way? Always think this missing fraction as a like fraction of this one. In this case, it can be a like fraction when its denominator will be 10. Okay, so let's say that this is a by 10. Let's suppose this is a by 10, where a can be any arbitrary number. A can be any arbitrary number. So 7 by 10 divided by 10 minus a divided by 10. This is a fraction. Of course, the first step will be, and so that you get what? 3 by 10, right? So the first step will be like the denominator is 10, then 7 minus a. This will be what? 3 by 10. Now, in order to get the numerator as 3, this should be 7 minus a as 3. 7 minus 4 as 3, right? A will be what? 4. Therefore, your fraction will be what? 4 divided by 10. In this case, missing fraction is here, 3 by 21. Instantly assume that it's a like fraction, and in order for this fraction to be a like fraction to this one, this should have its denominator as 21. So if I think it of as a divided by 21, and this is minus 3 divided by 21, and this is 5 divided by 21, right? So now if I have to solve this fraction, this one, this will be 21, and this will be a minus 3, because why? We'll simply subtract the numerators. So a minus 3 is 5 divided by 21. Now, of course, a minus 3 will have to be what? 5. Will have to be 5. What number should be, here at the place of a, so that number minus 3 should be what? 5. So that number should be a minus 3 equal to 5, and that should be what? 8, right? If we make 8 minus 3 as 5, right? 8 minus 3 is 5. So this number a should be 8. Therefore, our fraction, that is this one, should be what? 8 by 21. Here we have another fraction, missing fraction. So instantly assume it as a divided by 6. We have to make it like fraction to this one. So a minus 6 is 3 by minus 3 by 6 will give you what? 3 by 6. Now to solve this fraction, you have to take the denominator. Since these two are like fractions means they have, of course, they have same denominator. So this will be 6 and this will be a minus 3. This will be equal to 3 by 6. This should be equal to 3 by 6. That's already been given here. Now, of course, a minus 3 should be equal to what? 3. Then only you'll get this fraction, right? So the subtraction of numerator should be equal to this one, and that is what? 3. What number should be subtracted from what number should be here, so that if we subtract 3 from that number, we'll get 3. So if a minus 3 should be equal to 3, and of course this will be 6 minus 3, then only you'll get 3. So our fraction, the value of a will be what? 6. Therefore our fraction here will be what? For this one, a is coming to be 6, so 6 divided by 6, right, minus 3 by 6 will be equal to 3 by 6. If we look at this 6 by 6, this can be written as 1. Why? Because 6 divided by 6 means what? 1. Okay.